Hello everyone, this is Sir James, your virtual math teacher. Welcome to our math video tutorials. Today, we're going to talk about visualizing plane and solid figures. And for our objectives for today, first, we're going to define plane and solid figures. Second, we're going to differentiate solid figures from plane figures. Lastly, we're going to identify the faces of a solid figure. But before going further, let us try how much you already know about our topic for today. For our first activity, you're going to write P on the blank if it refers to a plane figure, and S if it is a solid figure. I will give you 3 minutes to answer this activity. Now if you are done, let us check if your answers are correct. For number 1, it has a volume. Correct answer is letter S. It is a solid figure. Number 2, it is a two-dimensional figure. Correct answer is letter P, plane figure. For number 3, it has length, width, and height. Correct answer is letter S. It is a solid figure. For number 4, it can be made straight lines, curved lines, or both. Correct answer is letter P, plane figure. Last number, it has thickness. Correct answer is letter S. It is a solid figure. Now for our next activity, we are going to match column A with column B. Write the letter of the correct answer on the blank before the number. I will give you another 3 minutes to answer this one. Now if you are done, let us check if your answers are correct. For number 1, party hat. Party hat corresponds to letter B, cone. Number 2, globe. Globe corresponds to letter D, sphere. Number 3, aquarium. Aquarium corresponds to letter A, rectangular prism. Number 4, roof of a house. Corresponds to letter E, pyramid. And number 5, drum prism, which corresponds to letter C, cylinder. Now let's have our brief introduction about plane figures. We already know that plane is a flat surface that extends without end in all directions. It has 2 dimensions, the length and the width, but it has no thickness. Now let's define plane figures. Plane figure is a plane, or it is a shape drawn in a plane. It is 2-dimensional, the length and the width. It can be made of straight lines, curved lines, or both. It's made up of line segments or arcs of curves joined together in a plane. Planes are of 2 types. First, the open plane figures, and the other one is the closed plane figure. Now let's discuss an open plane figures. Open plane figures are plane figures that start at one point and end at another point. Here are examples of open plane figures. Try to take a look at our examples. As you can see in the first figure, if we started here at this point, it ended here at another point. In our figure number 2, if we started here at one point, again, it ended here at another point. For our figure number 3, if we started here at one point, it ended here at another point. So in short, it has an open space. Now let's move to the closed plane figures. Closed plane figures are figures that start and end at the same point. Some closed plane figures are circle, triangle, square, rectangle, and many more. Next, we are going to learn a new term called a polygon. What do you mean by a polygon? A polygon are figures which are made of 3 or more line segments. Here are some examples of a polygon. Triangle, which have 3 sides or 3 line segments. Another example of a polygon is a square that have 4 sides or 4 line segments. Another example is the pentagon that have 5 sides or 5 line segments. Next is the hexagon, which has 6 sides and 6 line segments. The heptagon, which has the 7 sides or 7 line segments. And a circle, which have no sides and no corner. This time, let's talk about another type of figure, the solid figure. Solid are also known as space figures. Solid or space figure is a 3-dimensional figure that has length, width, and height. It has faces, edges, and vertices. Solid figure can be touched and thus occupy space. That's why it is called solid or space figure. Let's take a look at some examples of a solid figure. Here are examples of a solid figure. This is a cube. This is a rectangular prism. This is a pyramid. This is a sphere. This is a cylinder. And this is a cone. We have mentioned earlier that solid figures or space figures have faces, edges, and vertices. Now let's discuss first the face. A face is the flat surface of a solid figure. A cube, this is the face. Now let's count the number of faces of a solid figure. A cube has 6 faces. The top, the bottom, side, and the other side, the front, and the back. That's why it has 6 faces. A rectangular prism has 6 faces. A pyramid has 5 faces. A sphere has 0 face, a cylinder has 2 faces, and a cone that has only 1 face. A solid figure has also an edge. An edge formed when 2 faces met. An edge is a straight line segment. Let us find where is the edge. Now this is the edge. Now let's count the number of edges of each solid figure. A cube has 12 edges. A rectangular prism has 12 edges. A pyramid has 8 edges. A sphere that has no edge. A cylinder that has no edge. And a cone which also have no edge. A solid figure has also a vertex. A vertex is a point where edges met. This is the vertex. Now, let's count the number of vertices of each solid figure. A cube has 8 vertices. A rectangular prism has 8 vertices. A pyramid has 5 vertices. A sphere that has 0 vertex. A cylinder that also have a 0 vertex. And a cone that has 1 vertex. Solid or spaced figures have 2 categories. First, it can be polyhedrons or polyhedral that have flat faces or surfaces. And another one is the non-polyhedrons or non-polyhedral which have curved surfaces. Again, polyhedrons have flat surfaces, while non-polyhedrons have curved surfaces. Examples of polyhedrons are: first, prism. Prism has a different kind. We have cube, triangular prism, and rectangular prism. Another example of polyhedron is a pyramid. A pyramid has different types. We have a triangular pyramid, tetrahedron, rectangular pyramid, square pyramid, and many more. Again, prism and pyramid have flat surfaces, so they are polyhedrons. However, examples of non-polyhedrons are: first, cylinder, cone, and a sphere, because these 3 figures have curved surfaces. Now let's discuss each type of polyhedron. First, a prism. A prism is a polyhedron that has 2 congruent parallel faces called the bases. There are different kinds of prisms. A prism is named according to the shape of its base. First, a cube. A cube is a prism with square bases. All its faces are square. This is an example of a cube. Another type of prism is the triangular prism. composed of 2 triangular bases and 3 rectangular lateral faces. This is an example of triangular prism. Rectangular prism, composed of 2 rectangular bases and 4 rectangular lateral faces. This is an example of rectangular prism. Another kind of polyhedron is a pyramid. A pyramid is a polyhedron whose base is a polygon and the lateral faces are triangle, which meet at a common vertex. A pyramid is also named after the shape of its base. Some examples of pyramid are triangular pyramid. Triangular pyramid has a triangular base and 3 triangular lateral faces. This is an example of triangular pyramid. Tetrahedron is a triangular pyramid with 4 faces made of equilateral triangles. This is an example of tetrahedron. Next example of a pyramid is a rectangular pyramid, which has a rectangular base and 4 triangular lateral faces. This is an example of a rectangular pyramid. Another type is a square pyramid that has a square base and 4 triangular lateral faces. This is an example of a square pyramid. Now let's move on to the nonpolyhedrons. Nonpolyhedrons consist of space figures that are formed by intersection of the curved plane figures, primarily the circle. Example of nonpolyhedrons: first, cylinder, which has 2 circular bases that are congruent and parallel. This is an example of a cylinder. Next example of nonpolyhedron is a cone. A cone has 1 circular base. This is an example of a cone. Last example is a sphere. A sphere has no base or face because it does not have any flat surfaces. This is an example of a sphere. So I hope you have learned something today. Thank you for watching and see you again in our next video tutorials. Again, this is Sir James, your virtual teacher. Thank you!